everybody, welcome back. Comic review time, where basically I geek out about a comic book I just read. And today we are here to talk about issue number 2 of Marvel's US Avengers. Oh yeah. So, I don't know, I'm new to comics, all that stuff. Eventually I'll stop saying that, but it's still very, very true. So feel free to correct me on anything I'm getting wrong, whatever, help me learn things. But I do want to say, I'm also trying to figure out how to do these videos and what I actually want to do with them. So things kind of change and fluctuate as we go. That being said, if you recall, I really liked issue number 1, although I thought I didn't understand the storytelling device initially, so at first it was disjointing for me, put me off a little bit, but I did end up loving it. I did find the characters fascinating, even though I got very, very little backstory on anybody. But this time, it did leave on an interesting cliffhanger, and this time we get to learn a lot about that character we left on the cliffhanger on. So before we get into it, I did not find any good variant covers, but I love that they do this on the front page and kind of reminds you who all is in the US Avengers and everything, so that was very helpful. Kind of getting a previously on, if you will. And let me find the important part. Here we go. Let's put this up before we get into it. So, there we go. Everything's backwards. Skullocracy, issue, part 2. Al Ewing, writer. Paco Medina is the penciler. Juan Velasco is the inker. Jesus Albertov is the colorist. VC's Joe Caramanga is the letterer. So, sorry if I butchered your name. Sorry about that. At least I'm trying, I want to give credit where credit's due. So this book is really, really cool because at the end of the first book, let's see, where was it? This Captain America shows up, this female Captain America. So we start off with a flashback, and she's basically explaining what happened to where she's from. And Thanos came just to make a point. And basically, Thanos, as Thanos does, wiped a lot of people off the map. Practically destroyed the whole world and everything. So here she is. Let's give you a little good look at her. So what I like is I thought it was very fascinating, is it turned out that she is the daughter of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. So she's got some hella power. And she's from a different time and a different dimension. I don't think it's a different dimension. I think it's just a different time, but what happened in her dimension, it's a little confusing. It's a little timey-wimey. What happened in her dimension hasn't happened in theirs. It should have already. So she's not really from the future. But what had happened in hers could still happen in theirs. And her villain escaped into their dimension. So that's why she's had to come over and help. But she's telling the whole backstory about how they wiped out everybody. And she had to form these kind of knights to eventually stop him, Thanos, in her world. And, there's all these versions of Captain America throughout time. And all those versions and dimensions had, fought and won. But always fighting against the Golden Skull. And this character now gets a little bit of backstory too. Look, here's even like a revolutionary era Captain America, so that's kind of cool. But I like that the Golden Skull has a whole pirate theme going on, and even his men are very pirate themed. And of course, he turns on his men. He doesn't let his men get any money or anything. I love that too, by the way. The art style, if I didn't talk about it in the first one, is absolutely fantastic in this book. I love this art style. This is the kind of thing I'd like to have posters and prints of some of these panels. I really love this too, that she doesn't need the shield because she is the shield. Bullets just bouncing right off her. And then yeah, Golden Skull had disappeared into our dimension. That's why she had to track him over here. Now I love this too. We're putting the new AIM to use, going to all the different divisions and getting the breakdown because they were listening in on the whole briefing and they're already tracking down what they can. And basically that's going on. And then we find out there's basically a big party of all the rich people. So they're like, oh, well, let's go be rich with them because that's where basically this guy will strike to make money, to pay his guards, to do whatever the big overall plan is, because that's what they figure out, is he's not really here for the money, but he's trying to steal the money to pay the people to do what he wants to eventually do. So all our US Avengers show up, and in their formal attire. That's a pretty cool frame, actually. And especially Squirrel Girl. I like that she's asking about, do these have nuts or traces of nuts? Because that's what I want, kind of thing. And, basically he shows off to his old friend, but look, Skull knows, man. He's already on the ball, and it turns out he was waiting for him. It's a trap. Everybody in there is a damn android, and we're going to have to fight. And that's basically where we leave off in this book. This was a really good one. This has got me very, very excited to keep reading this book. Like I said, I liked the first one. This one I really, really liked. So maybe in the next issue or two, I'll start loving. But I'm excited about this. I love the Golden Skull. I'm finding him to be very fascinating. I hope we don't lose Captain America 20XX, which is what they're kind of calling her right now, because I love the idea that she's the daughter of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones in that universe. And, you know, the rest of the team is growing on me a bit, too, even though they still have been very underplayed. I really want to know more about Cannonball, because he's from Kentucky, and I'm from Kentucky, so we'll get there eventually, though. I'm definitely excited to see how they're going to fight their way out of this whole Android ballroom thing, so it'll be a fun time. All right, guys, well, are you reading this book? What do you think about this book? Let me know. Comment below with whatever your thoughts are. Let's geek out about it. This book is very much geek out worthy as far as I'm concerned. Other than that, you can click the thumbs up button. Give me the thumb of encouragement, because I do like to be encouraged. And I'm going to get out of here and go read some more books. So I will see you guys later.